We traveled to the esteemed Peabody Hotel in Memphis for the starter. Chef Jose Gutierrez leads off with a winner of utter simplicity, green tomato gazpacho. Then it's off to Miami and the Cuban cuisine of Guillermo Veloso. His entree is a Latin specialty featuring fried rabbit. Notice the use of chocolate liqueur in the sauce. Finally, from the inn at Blackberry Farm in Tennessee, Chef John Fleer makes an upscale version of a southern super snack, moon pie, pistachio chocolate brownie, and white chocolate ice cream. The upscale Chez Philippe restaurant is overseen by Master Chef Jose Gutierrez. The irrepressible Frenchman no doubt contributed to the Peabody winning an Ivy Award in 1997. The honor is bestowed annually by Restaurants and Institutions magazine. All you need for green tomato gazpacho is a blender.
Okay, today we're going to do a gazpacho sauce with a green tomato, which are available in the south. So what we're doing is a fusion cooking between southern from America and southern of Spain. So for that, we're going to use all those ingredients, and we are not going to cook anything. We're just going to put everything in the blender with some olive oil and vinegar and water, and blend everything, and that will be ready. So it's going to take just a few seconds. So the first thing we're going to put in the blend is the 2 cups of green tomato, or being diced, and it's very important that they are nice and very, very green. Then we're going to have, for the red peppers, we're going to have half a cup of green pepper. Then onion, yellow onion, 3/4 of a cup of diced onion. And then we're going to have 2 cups of cucumbers who have been seeded. And you want to leave the skin on. All right. Then olive oil, that's 2/3 of a cup. Same thing for the vinegar, white vinegar. Then 1 teaspoon of minced garlic and salt. And 1 cup of water. And that's about it for this dish. The only thing we're going to do is blend everything for a few seconds. The color should be nice and green and very fresh. And it's okay if you have a little piece, it's not blended completely through. And then what we're going to do is just serve 3/4 of a cup per person here. And that's soup for summertime is just incredible. And when you want to serve that way, there's a little julienne of red pepper, just to show the difference of color. So for 6 person, you will need 1 red pepper, and you can take the inside out, and sometimes it's too thick for the garnish, and save the skin to do a sauce or anything else with it. A little julienne of red pepper. What we have here is 2 slices of toasted focaccia bread, just a few pieces of salad, red oak, Lola Rosa, frisée, anything you have, and a little julienne of red pepper. And leave it simple, just like that. Et voila.
Although Yuca in Coral Gables is presented as a venue of Cuban cuisine, executive chef Guillermo Veloso's cooking represents a confluence of several Latin and Caribbean influences. Consider his entree. It features rabbit, which is sautéed, braised, and deep-fried, served with a mole-like sauce.
Chicharrón de conejo. Chicharrón de conejo. Chicharrón is a typical way in the Caribbean, Cuba, Puerto Rico, of eating things like chicken and rabbit. It's basically fried, real crisp fry. What we're going to do with this is we're going to braise the rabbit till it's nice and tender, and then we're going to put it in the fryer just long enough to crisp it, but not to get it greasy or anything like that.
The saddle, front, and back quarters of the rabbit are seasoned with salt and pepper and dredged in flour.
Shake off that flour really well. And put some clarified butter. And we'll start browning the rabbit.
The rabbit pieces are turned once during the browning stage.
So get it nicely brown. Take the rabbit out. In the same butter, we'll throw in some diced carrots, onions, scallions. We'll do a little bit of chopped garlic in that. Saute it up a little bit. We'll return the rabbit to the pan. Deglaze that with a little bit of red wine. And we'll cover the whole thing with stock. This is chicken stock. You could use rabbit stock if you have enough bones to make a rabbit stock, or even a light veal stock would be good for this dish.
Braise at 400 for an hour and a half.
The sauce is it's a variation on a typical Catalan or Spanish sauce, where they use bitter chocolate a lot in that part of the country, in that part of Spain. We're going to combine it with a typical Latin sauce, which is called a mojito. It's basically a marinated onion sauce with cilantro. So we'll start off with some red onion. Diced or minced.
Also, fresh cilantro.
Just loosely chopped. It doesn't have to be too finely chopped.
First, the onions are softened in olive oil.
Some chopped garlic. We'll add some lemon juice to this. More or less about a couple of tablespoons. All right, at this stage, we'll add the cilantro. We're going to deglaze the pan with some red wine. Not too much, about a cup's worth. And some Godiva chocolate liqueur, or any kind of chocolate liqueur you might want to use. We're gonna add some demi-glace. Rabbit demi-glace would be preferable, but beef or veal is fine. A little bit of chopped tomatoes. Letting that reduce.
Shaved bitter chocolate is added.
A little bitter chocolate goes a long way in this dish. Meanwhile, we can start our salad for the dish, which is a simple salad. Start off with a simple dressing. Very simple dressing made with some mayonnaise and some Dijon or whole grain mustard. In this case, it's Dijon.
Watercress is used. Also, ripe avocado.
A bit more diced tomatoes to this. We'll add some pitted imported olives. These are Kalamata. And we'll dress that with this dressing. Nice simple mustard dressing.
Just before presentation, the braised rabbit was deep fried for about 5 minutes at 375 degrees.
We'll arrange our crispy rabbit, or chicharrón de conejo, around it. Serve our bitter chocolate and mojito sauce. We could garnish this dish with some caper berries, which are a Spanish imported product. They're kind of salty like capers, but kind of the texture of an olive. Then we like to drizzle that with a little bit of infused olive oil. A little bit of diced pepper for color. That's the dish.
The sylvan setting of the inn at Blackberry Farm is a perfect locale for Chef John Fleer, who, if nothing, has developed a well-defined philosophy of cooking. He calls it foothills cuisine and says it must have heart. Beyond that, his dessert also has chocolate in a rich ganache-coated brownie. The brownie batter includes melted chocolate and butter, to which granulated sugar and cocoa powder are sifted in.
I'm going to stir that till it's fully incorporated. And the sugar is dissolved. In the mixture. We'll then fold in our eggs, which have already been beaten. Flour. So that you don't overmix the brownies. Once you get the flour part of the way incorporated, you can go ahead and add the garnish for this rich pistachio brownie, which is pistachios and chocolate chips. Once it's just brought together, stir in last ingredient. This is a homemade vanilla wafer, homemade vanilla extract. We make from just vanilla beans and an inexpensive vodka. Let it steep for 15 to 30 days.
The brownie mixture is spread onto a sheet pan lined with parchment paper.
It's meant to be very thin. It's not a thick cake-like brownie. It's a very dense, rich brownie. So we'll spread it less than half an inch thick in the pan. Once it's even into all the corners, you can see it's really not very thick at all, about a quarter of an inch thick. We'll stick it in the oven. 350 degrees for about half an hour. It's very important with this that you cook it until it's just done, because this brownie, as thin as it is, can get very hard and crisp very quickly. So we'll cook it until it's just done. Okay. For the brownie, we'll be cutting both a top and a bottom layer, and we'll be sandwiching white chocolate ice cream in the middle. So we'll let this be our top layer.
Ganache coats the top.
And it's easiest to do this with a nice heavy pour and let all the excess chocolate drip over the edge and make sure you have a nice even coating.
Refrigerate to set up.
And for the bottom, we'll cut the same size round. But then, seeing as our filling for the moon pie is made from ice cream, we need some place for the melted ice cream to go as it's on its way to the table. So to stabilize the ice cream, we cut a little hole in the middle, create a chocolate donut.
Served with the brownie is Italian meringue, which is started by beating egg whites to medium peaks and adding sugar.
Sugar to form a common meringue. And once that gets to medium, we'll let it rest there. We have a sugar syrup here that is coming up to 250 degrees. What we have here is the 250 degree syrup. What you want to do is pour the syrup into the meringue in stages, stopping each time so that you don't fling the hot syrup on yourself or on the mixer. It also allows the egg white mixture to temper itself and slowly come up to a hotter temperature rather than doing so quickly. You'll notice that the heat from the syrup is increasing the volume of our meringue.
After all the syrup is added, the beater is put on low speed until the meringue has cooled.
And instead of the marshmallow filling of the typical moon pie, we've got a rich white chocolate ice cream. We'll take our Ganache coated brownie. Some strawberry puree made from fresh strawberries, orange juice, a little dark rum, and triple sec. Just as a contrast to cut some of the obvious sugary sweetness to this dessert. And the last step is to take our Italian meringue. Here's where we really pick up the flavor of marshmallow. Take a blowtorch and we'll brown lightly like a toasted marshmallow the outside of the dessert. And there is our Uptown Moon Pie with strawberry puree and rich pistachio brownie.